boy, I'm gonna. Okay, now I just feel like I have to do this first time in here. I feel like I gotta do this. Hello, my name is Apu. I went to.
No.
Don't do
No. You don't have to do that. That's all right.
Welcome to Quickie Mart.
Hello.
Hey. Christian Weston Chandler, or Christine Weston Chandler, however you want to address him, is a 41-year-old autistic, mentally ill nerd who is one of the most well-known, mocked, and ridiculed internet nerds out there. He's been considered one of the most well-documented people alive, and it's kind of interesting the fact that, to me, I find him as somewhat an odd individual, but I'm sort of amazed by the fan base that he has and by the kind of trolls that document every aspect of his life and the fact that they're continuing to follow him, which in my opinion is sort of weird. And in this video I just wanted to give you guys my opinion because I know there's thousands of videos out there that have covered this dude's life, as there is even a documentary series that I've watched that goes over the intimate details of him growing up from being a child to being a teenager to him now, and how his life has gotten worse and worse over the years. It's just really weird to me, and I just wanted to give my opinion in this kind of video talking about this dude's life. Now, it's difficult to give you just a simple backstory about Christian Weston Chandler because there's so much information out there about his life and there's so many details to go over. I mean, there's a whole goddamn webpage that details every aspect, every detail from his early childhood until how he is presently. So, in this video, I'm just going to tell you his simple backstory of how I think he became famous. Really, he started posting videos in 2007. One of his kind of more famous videos, one of the first videos that came out, was like he was going on like some homophobic rant, and throughout the video, besides the whole homophobic rant, he's just seen as like this stupid dude that's wearing this weird medallion and saying really dumb shit. And people began getting an interest into this guy as he posted more videos about his life, his room, which is just filled with trash and other crap and other items and products that he has, and all these all this just shit that's in his house, and revealing more about his personality and the fact that he has been doing this webcomic series called Sonichu, which is the combination of Sonic and Pikachu in a very stupid comic series that people have been very interested in for a long period of time. But to be honest with you, his webcomic series is not as fascinating or as very unique or interesting to me as I find his videos that he's published about himself. I think a lot of his webcomics are just similar to how a lot of people have these passion projects that they find valuable to themselves, but other people ridicule and find stupid shit. Growing up, I used to write short stories that I thought were really clever and were really well written and had a lot of great intrigue, and that were very much deep and had a lot of unique points and themes and ideas in it. And in reality, they were just shitty stories that I wrote. And I think his webcomics are similar to that in the sense of like, yeah, they're just stupid stories where he will insert himself into these stories, you know, doing magical things and having characters that love him and that worship him and idolize him and shit. Just basic stuff to kind of like reinforce his ego and stuff. But what I find interesting, like I stated, is his videos, because it just reveals his personality and how weird he is as an individual, and the fact that throughout most of his life he's just lived with his parents and just focused on making videos about him playing video games and talking about his failed love life, the fact that he can't get into romantic relationships, and his life growing up in high school, how he was bullied and how he was sort of ostracized and isolated by a lot of the students and by a lot of people. So he sort of lives this life where he's just in his room most of the time, just recording himself on his shitty PS3 camera. And that's, I can kind of say, is really what can really simply sum him up, even though that there's so much more information that has been documented and that has been taken from him. There's emails, correspondence, messages that he's had with fake trolls who've catfished him because of his desperate attempt to get a girlfriend. There's been people who have hacked his account. There's been people who have gone to his house and harassed him and stuff. I mean, there's so much from the community itself that follows him But when you analyze his life and look at how he has developed over time, you find him as just this really weird, high-functioning autistic person who is just a nerd and is stupid and does a lot of dumb shit, but that's about it. It's really his fans who egg him on, who encourage his stupid behavior, who really go after him and troll him and hack his accounts, that are the main reason why he's become famous. Like I stated, there's a whole fucking website that's given every aspect, every detail about his life, as these people just follow him religiously and in this bizarre way just want to become obsessed with every detail of his fucking life, which is kind of insane to me. And I just find his videos kind of funny, and that's about it. And that's the aspect of Christian that I find absolutely fascinating, that there's this large group of people that are willing to document every detail and every important aspect of his life, from childhood, his emails, letters that he's wrote, videos, everything archived and put onto its own web page. Again, there's a website that is dedicated fully to documenting so much of information about him, and the fact that here, the person that they're documenting, the person that they're making out to be the most documented human being in history, is this nerd who lived with his parents, had a whole bunch of shit that he bought, a lot of toys, a lot of video games, all this crap that he hoarded, played video games all the time, and usually and quite frequently uploaded videos of himself talking to the camera about it, the failures that he has in his life, the fact that he hasn't been able to get a girlfriend, the fact that he has terrible time developing relationships with people, the fact that he's trying to work on his webcomics, all this stupid shit that really makes him out to just be this dumbass nerd and nothing more than that. But there's people that feel that they have to put in so much effort to documenting that. I mean, again, there is a documentary series on Geno Samuel, a YouTube channel, where there's these videos that are over an hour long, and there's I think almost more than 60 as of the making of this video, 60 almost hour-long videos that are going from his childhood up into recent events, covering his life. And it's just amazing that this dude, Geno Samuel, has dedicated so much of his time and effort into creating this documentary series. And I don't know, it's something to me to kind of like think over, like, wow, this person who is this fat, stupid nerd has these fans and trolls that try to come to his house, harass him, or hack into his account, and on the other hand, sometimes try to help him, give him guidance and advice and suggestions, and try to correspond with him the best that they can. And I'm thinking, like, why? Why in the end are they trying to help out this dude who's this fat fucking moron who really hasn't done much positive in his life? I mean, the one thing that I feel uncomfortable mentioning the fact is that in August of 2021, he was charged with the crime of sexually assaulting his own mother. The fact that here, this mentally ill, autistic dude sexually assaulted his mother and rightly went to jail for it, and now as of the making of this video, he is released from jail, and holy shit, like, he's back on the streets. He's back to doing more stupid nonsense and having a difficult time taking care of himself, because for most of his life he's lived with his parents and depended on his parents, and because of the fact that he sexually assaulted his own mother, and now he has to depend on himself, and people are going to try to help him out and try to continue to get a lot of information from him, get more details, try to document it, more aspects of his life after jail. It's just, I don't know, it's fucking bonkers to me, to be honest with you. Now, in comparison to other type of internet celebrities, these type of lolcows that are out there, I think with Christian, his fan base and the trolls and the people that follow him aren't as malicious or aren't really as violent as in comparison to the trolls that followed, for example, Dragonlord. Dragonlord was a German version of Christian, as a lot of people have kind of see him as. Essentially, he was this dude who was posting videos similar to like Christian that were stupid, ridiculous videos, him making a fool of himself and being a big fat oaf. and he very idiotically put out the address to his house in a village in southern Germany, and all of a sudden here comes all these German trolls start showing up to his property, start throwing rocks, fireworks, start breaking into his house, trying to burn it down, stealing stuff. I mean, these awful types of German trolls that show up to his home and attempt at anything to break in or harass him. And in comparison to Chris Chan's fans here in America, they aren't as violent or as despicable as those that were kind of harassing Dragonlord. If you want to watch actually more and get more information about Dragonlord, there's a great video on interesting stuff from around the world, which is where I learned about this dude, who I find absolutely fascinating now. The fact that the level of torment and harassment he got from trolls and people just following him and stalking him and breaking into his house and damaging his property. It's quite insane, to be honest with you. He got to a point where he had to actually sell his house and flee from the village that he was in, as people couldn't handle it anymore. The neighbors, he couldn't handle the harassment. The neighbors couldn't handle the noise, the amount of harassment that came from the trolls coming to their village to just basically terrorize this dude. And to me, it's like, wow, these German trolls are just awful human beings for doing that to him. I don't think he deserved that. And yeah, it's understandable. I mean, Germans tend to be fucking awful people. I mean, historically, obviously, they tend to be awful human beings. But Chris Chan, on the other hand, hasn't gotten that. He's gotten a lot of people who have supported him, people who attempted to interview him, to help him, to really, I guess, assist him in any way possible and to work for his benefit, up until he sexually assaulted his own mother in the most fucking insane incident that was captured on the internet. I mean, damn, wow, that's really disgusting that happened. And now that he's out of jail, a lot of those people that had helped him out and supported him for a long time have abandoned him. But in comparison to Dragonlord never really deserved all of the harassment and torment that he got from the trolls. But I think that his story is a lot more fascinating than that of Chris Chan. Now, another person I also think of that I find a lot more fascinating as a human being, as being an insane, crazy human being, I did on this channel, is Fedsmoker, or Conald Peterson. The amount of videos that he's done about himself is comparable to Chris Chan. The amount of videos that he has put out there, the amount of information that we know about Conald Peterson versus the amount of information that we know about Chris Chan. But Conald Peterson was interesting to me because the fact that he traveled across the United States in an attempt to expose police officers for being corrupt and just harassing people and messing with people all the time, and I found his content absolutely hilarious. Whereas Chris Chan is more, we're mocking him for being a fat dumb shit. Conald Peterson's content is just hilarious for the fact that he is just going across the United States doing these insane things and filming it and uploading all this content onto the internet. And to me, looking at these three, looking at Dragonlord, looking at Fedsmoker, and looking at Chris Chan, I think that Dragonlord and Fedsmoker, again, they are funny because of who they are as their personality, how they reacted to trolls, how they react to people, how they are in society. And it's sad in the case of Fedsmoker, he passed away back in 2020. I covered him in a video on my channel. I'll put a link in the description below of the video. But I find him more fascinating than Chris Chan because of the fact that at least he contributed something. At least he was able to make channels and post content that was a lot more fascinating and a lot more engaging. In conclusion, I feel like Chris Chan, in my opinion, is odd. And it was fun watching a lot of the documentaries and a lot of the interviews that were done about him and for him. But at the same time, I asked myself, why do we have to document every aspect of this guy's life? He's not there's nothing really interesting about his personality. He's not, over the top. He's not very, there's nothing charismatic about him. There's nothing really interesting about him. There's nothing about his personality where I can quote him all the time, like Fedsmoker, on the other hand, who is the most hilarious human being that there was to live when he was alive, to be honest with you. But with Chris Chan, I'm just, again, amazed by not him, but by the fans who have documented every aspect of his life. And to me, it's just bizarre And I don't know what to say, especially going forward now that he's out of jail for that disgusting act that he committed against his own mother. I hope that he does better, but at the same time, I hope that people stop bothering him, and I hope that he's able to, I guess, seek treatment for his mental illness, for him being a fucking idiot, because I really don't know how to really kind of assess this and think that whatever support will help Chris Chan change in the future, because I think he won't change. I mean, he's severely mentally ill, besides being autistic and besides being a fucking moron. And he's 40, I think he's 40, coming up 42 years old, and at that point in your life, you should have figured it out all on your own. But he hasn't, so I really don't know what to say in conclusion about Chris Chan. I mean, I hope he gets better, but yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video about me talking and ranting about Chris Chan, because yeah, this dude's a weird fucking guy, and he's an idiot, and he's a fat piece of shit human being for what he did, but at the same time, I'm amazed that he is considered the most documented person alive. So yeah, I guess those are my thoughts. Hope you enjoyed, and like always, have a wonderful day.